So it is go time, baby. In less than 24 hours, the Baltimore Ravens will be hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers in the wild card round of the 2025 NFL playoffs, man. In less than 24 hours, it's going down. And I just wanted to hop on here with you guys, provide you with a couple of quick key updates, some hot takes on the game, my score prediction, and more. So let's dive into the content. At number one, in case you missed it, here's the final injury report for the Ravens and the Steelers. Obviously, big blow to the Baltimore Ravens. They'll be missing their wide receiver one, their first ever homegrown Pro Bowl wide receiver, who had 1,000 yards this season. Zay Flowers will be out. He did not practice all week. He's ruled out. Possibility that he comes back if the Ravens progress and move forward into the playoffs later down the line. The Steelers are relatively healthy, just as the Ravens, besides Zay Flowers. But the Steelers, the only guys they have out are, non-starters, depth guys, special team guys, including defensive line, Logan Lee, he's out. Linebacker Cole Holcomb, he's ruled out. And then wide receiver Roman Wilson is ruled out as well. Backup tackle Calvin Anderson is listed as questionable. And starting guard, offensive lineman Mason McCormick, he's probably the biggest factor here as far as the caliber of player as a starter. He's a starting guard for them. Mason McCormick is listed as questionable. He broke his hand in the last matchup against the Bengals, but they found a way to wrap it up and try to make it work. So we'll see if he plays or not in this big-time matchup. At number two, a big factor with this game is how the defenses have been performing as of late. Okay, this is huge. I need you guys to see this. All right. So a lot of playoffs success, momentum, if you go back and look, is how a team performs and gets hot right going into the dance. And so recent performance going into playoffs matter. The Steelers, who've had a statistically top 10, top 5 defense in every category this year, have not played their best football since week 15. All right. So you can see on this graphic here that the Pittsburgh Steelers, they went from 18 points per game allowed to 27, weeks 15 through 18, by the way. Rushing yards per game, an average of 30 more. Passing yards per game, an average of about 40 more. Turnovers, significantly less, obviously. And then take a look at the Ravens defense that started off very poor and then now has been surging in the last 7 weeks, man. You can see the Ravens, the last 7 games, have the best defense in points per game, 4th best defense in rushing yards per game, 1st defense in passing yards per game, and 1st defense in total yards per game. So talk about a turnaround in defense. Absolutely absurd what defensive coordinator Zach Orr was able to do with this defense. Speaking of that, at number 3, I want to talk about what Ryan Fitzpatrick, former NFL quarterback who's now an analyst with Prime Video, he talked about what the game plan should be against these Pittsburgh Steelers and what has been successful against Russell Wilson, his strengths and weaknesses. I want you guys to take a listen.
So I'm sitting there watching both of these games. If I'm the Ravens, if I'm Zach Orr, what kind of plan am I putting together against these Steelers? I'm looking at Russell Wilson. He's been really successful this year when he's had man coverage, when he's been able to see it before the snap. He's been able to pick up his matchup and throw it down the field. A lot of that has been George Pickens. Some of that's been Calvin Austin. But if I'm Zach Orr, I'm rushing 4. I'm playing varieties of zone. I'm going to have 3 different zones. I'm just going to mix little Rolodex, make Russell Wilson read the field, because the biggest thing with him right now, if it's not one-on-one and the ball's not coming out of his hand, the only thing he's throwing on time right now is the check down. So let's take the running back away. Let's be in zone. Let's try to confuse him a little bit. And then he'll run around. He'll take some sacks, which he's done, especially recently, or he'll try to get up out of the pocket and make some plays. The problem is the playmaking ability that he has showcased his whole career isn't what it once was. And so for me, that's what I'm doing if I'm the Baltimore Ravens. Don't give them the ability to have a spark to throw one of those balls down the field. And I wouldn't be surprised, because the Steelers are reeling on offense right now. We see a little bit of Justin Fields. I mean, just to throw him out there, just to provide some sort of spark.
So Ryan Fitzpatrick says, play zone, rush 4, take away the deep ball to George Pickens. And I can't disagree with anything he had to say, because I was thinking the exact same thing. Russell Wilson has not historically thrown the ball over the middle of the field well. So I think if you stay in those too high and quarter those deep zone coverages where you take away those deep shots to Pickens and Calvin Austin, Mike Williams, because that's how the Steelers are going to have to make their money is explosive plays downfield. But if you can keep them out of those situations and be able to stop the run in those packages with just your front, man, the Steelers are going to have a long day on offense. Some people are even suggesting that Justin Fields should go in there and provide a spark. And as a Ravens fan, that's exactly what I don't want to see. If I was a Steelers fan, I would want to see Justin Fields start from the very beginning. And like many analysts are saying, everyone agrees. You guys can see the Ravens are 10-point favorites. I've seen it move from 8, 9.5, 10. It's changed a little bit since Zay Flowers was ruled out, but about 10-point favorites are the Baltimore Ravens at home. The Steelers, however, are scrappy. They are explosive on defense. They can turn the ball over at any time with TJ Watt, Alex Highsmith, Nick Herbig, Patrick Queen, Minka Fitzpatrick, Deshaun Elliott. Man, they got some dogs on defense. You can't deny that. But the Ravens got some dogs on offense as well and defense. So the Ravens, if they play their best game, if they play loose, if they play mistake-free for the most part, they're going to come away with a win. I believe that there's a margin for error. Even if the Ravens do turn the ball over once or twice, that they can still come out with a comfortable win based off how well their defense has been playing and how explosive their offense can be. I think it's just got to be a mental game for the Ravens that, hey, if we make a mistake, if we have a penalty or whatever, let's stay loose, let's have fun. Let's stay sharp and not get in their own heads. If the Ravens are playing loose, if they're having fun, man, they're a team that nobody in the NFL can beat right now. At number 5, we got a very interesting debate going back and forth between Chris Sims and Mike Florio, who has some history with Lamar Jackson and all that stuff. However, Chris Sims thinks that the Baltimore Ravens are going to beat the brakes off the Pittsburgh Steelers. So let me go ahead and play that soundbite for you.
Paramount. The Steelers are a team where I don't think if the game is straight up that they can just win the football game. They have to create something. A strip sack, interception, block punt, whatever it might be. So that's my thoughts there. Do you want to make your pick? Do you want to say anything more here? You go with the Ravens. I think the Ravens are going to whoop. I do. The Steelers are done. 4 in a row. They got whooped 3 weeks in a row. And then, okay, put up a fight against the Bengals, who have one of the worst defenses in football. And they did make a few plays, right? I didn't like the look of how Pittsburgh's defense just got absolutely ran over by Derrick Henry the first time. Lamar made a uncharacteristic interception in the red zone because Rashad Bateman stopped. I'm going to say I'm like with what your first thought was. I think the Ravens are going to come out on fire here. I think it's going to be the kind of game where it's like 35-7, and the Steelers are going to maybe score 2 later touchdowns to make it look respectable. I'm going to go 35-20 Ravens.
All right, guys, so my score prediction. I know it's the Steelers. I know it's a division rival. I know that they're familiar with us. But I got the Ravens with a nice win here. The Ravens play so well at home, but not just at home. Prime time at home, all right? So with the whole world watching, prime time, Saturday night, 8 p.m., cold weather football, Derrick Henry, Lamar Jackson, who's focused, who's on a mission, Todd Monken having the offense dialed in, Zach Orr having the defense dialed in, John Harbaugh having the team focused, motivated, locked in, killer mindset. I got the Ravens putting up 30 in this game. And I got the Pittsburgh Steelers hanging out at 17 points. So Baltimore Ravens 30, Pittsburgh Steelers 17. Comfortable win, I'm predicting here. Will it play out like that? Man, I don't know. It's AFC North Ravens Steelers rivalry. We'll see. But man, the Ravens are the clearly more talented team. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section below. Smash the like button if you got any value out of today's content. I love you guys, appreciate y'all, and we'll see you in the next video.
Ray, when he wasn't looking, he ran me over.